Now, the Bible was not originally written in the English language, as shocking as that sounds. But it was written in the Hebrew language, and in the Hebrew language, the word for God in this first verse of the Bible looks something like this. If you were to spell it in English, it would look something like this, and it's pronounced Elohim. Let me hear you say Elohim. In the beginning, Elohim created the heavens and the earth. Now, the word for create is the word bara. Let me hear you say bara. It's this forceful, energetic word of making things out of nothing. In the beginning, Elohim barad the heavens and the earth. Now, the earth was formless and void. The Hebrew phrase is tohu vavohu, which gives me great pleasure to say. Some translate it wild and waste. The Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. This Elohim has some sort of spirit. And then God spoke and said, "Let there be light." And there was light. God saw that the light was good and separated the light from the dark. The light was called day, the dark was called night. And it was evening and morning the first day. So God speaks some sort of word and makes things. In verse 1, this God is some sort of creator. In verse 2, this God is some sort of spirit. And in verse 3, this God is some sort of word. This God is one, and yet this God is several. God is some sort of multiple persons, some sort of community of creativity. What a strange way to begin a very, very long book. So the Newtonian understanding of cause and effect has simply taken a beating with quantum physics, because you take a picture of an atom, you take a picture of the same atom a second later, they don't know what it's going to do. Well, the assumption was always there's an element of predictability at the very bedrock, foundational part of the universe, but the problem is quantum physicists are just saying, well, when you get right down to the smallest thing that makes the thing that makes the thing that makes the thing, essentially the universe at its core is unpredictable. The best we can come up with is that the universe at its core is some sort of relationship of energy. So you have brilliant, studied, respected research scientists saying, all we can come up with as the universe at its core is made up of some sort of relational energy that we simply can't control. Some of them are even starting to use words like personality. And that this energy that holds everything together, that brought everything into existence and somehow sustains or holds everything in existence, gives life to everything, and simply has a mind of its own. We cannot conquer it or put it in a box. It is simply above and beyond what we can comprehend. High-end particle quantum subatomic physicists are starting to sound a lot like ancient Near Eastern Jewish poets. These are called string theorists, and they've presented to the world essentially what's called string theory. So you immediately say, well, wait, what do you mean by small? They're essentially saying the universe is to the earth as the earth is to an atom. The universe is bigger than the earth in the same way the earth is bigger than an atom, in the same way an atom is bigger than one of these strings. Yeah. And they're saying, well, the real issue isn't the bigness and the outness or the smallness and the inness. The real issue is multiple dimensions of reality. Now, to get our minds around dimensions, this is a rectangle and this is a circle. Now, this circle will never be a rectangle, and this rectangle will never be a circle. This board that I'm writing on is a two-dimensional surface. It has height and it has width. And so in 2 dimensions, this rectangle will never be a circle. This circle will never be a rectangle. If you ask me which is which, it's either or. It's either a circle or a rectangle. Now let's move from 2 dimensions to 3 dimensions. Let's add a dimension. This marker from the side is a rectangle. And yet, If you look at it from the end, it's a circle. So in 2 dimensions, it's either a rectangle or a circle. You add a dimension, and all of a sudden, what was either or mutually exclusive becomes both and. If the question was, well, is it a rectangle or a circle in 3 dimensions? Yep. How much blood has been spilled and oxygen wasted arguing over whether it's this or this, when maybe sometimes the answer is yep? Think about religion alone. Faith or science? Yep. Predestination or free will. And the one side has a list of Bible verses, kung fu, and the other side has their list of Bible verses, and maybe the good God who made everything is like, look, I gave you the marker trick. Yep. And you have the circle group, which is like, come on, man, join the circles. The universal loving embrace, come on. And you have the rectangles. Wait, we have right angles. We are 4 times more right than you are. But you're dangerously close to becoming a square. Yes, what we need are more straight lines, not all this, what we need are straight lines. But dude, you can't smoke a rectangle. Maybe sometimes the good God who made everything just says, yep.